welcome to the second bonus video for the Ace Combat 04 Postmortem, Paint Skins, Cockpits, and Named Aces. This is going to be a commentary light video looking at each plane's alternate skins and the named aces associated with them, looking at a bit of history and trivia also associated with the named aces' namesakes, from a dossier compiled by S.A. Goon and frequent Ace Combat co-commentator, Catterhall. Now, I get that the prospect of a 1 hour long video just looking at the game's roster isn't exactly the most enthralling piece of media you could be watching, so I'm going to be sure to timestamp all the relevant areas of interest that I will go into in the video description down below. So the general pattern this video is going to follow is going to be player, enemy, ace, cockpit, with the hunt for the named aces merged in with the cockpit views, going up the roster from the default Mobius 1 Phantom right up to the EA SA Wyvern. Our first named ace is Bela, named for Baron Wilhelm von Bela, a German-Austrian grenadier captain who also dabbled in astronomy. He discovered a Jupiter family comet that was later named Bela's Comet in his honor. Bela is actually ace number 0, as the paint scheme doesn't actually appear in-game attached to an enemy that you can hunt down and find. Instead, it's actually unlocked when you start up a brand new SP game coming in with imported data from a previously completed game of Ace Combat 04. The Bela skin is actually one of 3 paint schemes that does this because, well, there's 21 planes in the game and only 18 missions, so you do the math.
Damn, those mechanics were slacking again.
Mobius 1, engage.
Omega 11, engage. Repeating. Sorry, I can't.
Fox 2.
Our first proper named ace is Wang, named after possibly 2 different Chinese astronomers. One of them, a contemporary astronomer named Wang Qi, who was a graduate of Michigan State University's Department of Physics and Astronomy. He is notable for being the co-discoverer of the comet 142P Gay Wang. And please do not leave any comments down below, thank you. The other potential namesake is an ancient astronomer named Wang Zhenyi, who was a scientist for the Qin dynasty. She was notable for being a boundary-breaking scientist in ancient China, as most men in the field of astronomy in her era were men. She published papers on equinoxes, eclipses, and the motions of Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, and Saturn across the sky, and was also an accomplished poet. And between these two and Bela, you can kinda see the theme that Project Aces is going here with for Shattered Skies. Yep, all the named aces in Ace Combat 04 are named after astronomers, notably those who have discovered either comets or asteroids, because the game takes place in the aftermath of an asteroid hitting the planet, folks.
Mobius 1, Fox 2. Target is bombing the city.
So the named ace Wang is actually found in the first mission's Sitting Duck, and is found all the way at the extreme north of the map, way past Newfield Island. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge for you to get all the way out there, take him out, and then circle back around to take out the remaining Erusian bombers before you net a game over after they bomb the shit out of Allenfort. Our next named ace is Tempel, named for Ernest Wilhelm Liebrecht Tempel, who was a German astronomer who discovered multiple asteroids over the course of many years, and was also the winner of the Prix Vals in 1880. The asteroids 3808 Tempel and a crater on the surface of the moon were also named after him in his honor.
This combat area is within enemy airspace. Keep an eye out for bandits. Use Vector 180 to return home after destroying the target. Remember, a safe return completes the mission. Clear to engage.
This is Cessna Radar 1. Bandits approaching Vector 135.
Mobius 1, engage.
I've got his tail. He's mine. All right.
In-game, meanwhile, the named ace Tempel flies an F-16C and appears to the southwest of Cessna Radar 2 at about the midpoint of the map.
This is Wang 1. Get him off me.
Missile hit.
He's behind me.
Mobius 1, Fox 2. Missed.
This is Wang 9. He's on my tail. I've been hit.
The named ace of the A-10 is actually kind of a spelling error. Named Sifrid in-game, the ace is actually named after the astronomer Jacqueline Cifreo. Again, there's not much information about her available, but apparently she discovered a comet known as 108P Cifreo.
Miles to Wrigley Air Base. Use the power lines to navigate north. The bombers should be clumped together on the ground. Take them all out.
Watch me earn my ace wings today. No joy. I don't see anything.
Bogey's closing in on Wrigley AB. Scramble at once. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Intercept immediately. White 5, this is Wrigley Air Base. You're clear to take off runway 5. Take off as soon as you enter the runway.
Mobius 1 passing over substation. Mobius 1, engage.
In-game, Sifrid spawns just over the lake north of Wrigley Air Base, again near the northern extreme of the map, and she is stat hacked to shit because, as you can see over the course of this little video here, no A-10 should be able to move like that, especially even in-game. Holy crap.
I'll take over. I'm hit. Damn it. I'll fly this somehow.
Missed. Mobius 1, Fox 2. Mobius 1 shot down an A-10.
named ace of the Mirage is Ragao, named for Ferdinand Ragao, a Belgian astronomer who worked primarily for the Royal Observatory in Uttle, Belgium. He discovered multiple asteroids over the course of his career, and also co-discovered the comet 49P Arend-Ragao with his colleague Sylvain Arend in 1951.
Mobius 1, Sky Eye here. You should be getting visual on the transport soon. Destroy the E-767s hidden nearby to clear the jamming from our radar. Good luck.
Disengage if you can't handle it.
Something's wrong. I'm pulling out.
Turn hard right.
Bandit confirmed at Vector 020. Mobius 1, engage.
Repeating, engage.
Viper 9, engage.
Jamming's getting stronger.
He sees us.
In-game, the named Ace Ragao is found north of the E-767 jammer convoy, and because it's a Mirage and an air-to-air mission, as you can see here in just a second, it goes down really embarrassingly quickly.
Alright.
The next ace is Levy, named after Canadian astronomer and science fiction author David Levy, who discovered many comets, minor planets, and asteroids, including the comet Schumacher-Levy 9 with Carolyn and Eugene Schumacher, which famously collided with Jupiter in the summer of 1994. The paint skin of Levy also has a couple of additional interesting details with it. As you can see on the tail fin there, it's adorned with the icon of the Player 1 character from the Sky Kid arcade game Red Baron, and also if you're getting any familiar vibes from Ace Combat 5, it's also the prototype skin for the Rosgrees cannon design, featuring all black and red tail fin tips, which also debuted way back in Ace Combat 2 as a special enemy skin.
Big action in a while.
Viper 3, engage.
Repeating, engage.
Clear to engage. Bandit confirmed at Vector 110. Mobius 1, engage.
Pim's right on me.
Forget the small fry. Concentrate on the larger ships. No use. Take the lead.
In-game, the Ace Levy appears all the way at the very extreme north of the map, north of New Comberth Harbor.
Radar lock. Fox 2.
Plane is inoperable. Ejecting.
Our next ace is Davico, named for Italian astronomer and Jesuit priest Father Francesco Davico, who eventually went on to become the director of the Vatican Observatory. He was awarded a gold medal by King Frederick VI of Denmark for being one of the first two people to discover a comet by way of a telescope rather than the naked eye in 1847, the first of which was American astronomer Maria Mitchell, who discovered the same comet that Davico did only 2 days prior. The Davico paint skin also has a couple of interesting features to point out. Just like Levy, Davico also features a depiction of Sky Kid protagonist Red Baron on its tail fin, only showing off Red Baron's signature biplane instead of his actual base icon. And on the nose you can also see the wording Free Erusia, a reference to the eventual antagonist of the Ace Combat 5 arcade mode, Operation Katina. Up till this point, all the named aces have been sporting the icon of Free Erusia on various parts of their planes, whereas Davico so far is the only one that actually explicitly names Free Erusia out there in the open. In-game, the Ace Davico can be found in Mission 7, Deep Strike, at the northern extreme of the map just beyond the control center for the solar power complex. The Ace will despawn in the second half of the mission once Stonehenge begins firing on the combat zone, however.
Mobius 1 shot down a bandit. Bandit at 9 o'clock.
Our next ace is Vysala, named for Yrjö Vysala, a Finnish astronomer and physicist who worked primarily in the field of optics, who had an interesting habit of naming all his celestial discoveries after close friends and colleagues. He was also nicknamed the Wizard of Turla.
Attention all aircraft, this is Kimona Base. This rocket launch is critical. Maintain air superiority until launch is complete.
How many did you shoot down? I saw a yellow flash on that fighter on the nose.
Bandit at 4 o'clock.
Missile, hard left. One down. Mobius 1, bandit at 6 o'clock.
Being the named ace of Shattered Skies, Vysala also has the dual distinction of being the named ace of the title mission of the game, and also the only named ace to actually appear in any mission that has anything even remotely to do with astronomy in and of itself. He can be found over a large island east of Rhea Space Center in the northern portion of the map at any point prior to the arrival of the B-52 squadron after the mission update. next ace is Tuttle, named after American astronomer and Civil War veteran Horace Parnell Tuttle. Tuttle served in the Union Army and then went on to become a paymaster for the Union Navy stationed aboard the monitor ship USS Catskill. He discovered the comet 55P about a month after Wilhelm Temple did, and the comet is now named for both of them.
Headquarters, this is Lieutenant Bales, commander of Unit B at Crown Beach. We do not have air superiority over the beach. This isn't as promised.
This is HQ. Friendly fighters are inbound. Continue efforts to secure the beach.
Right, we'll do our best, but tell them I'll be seeing them once we land. Over.
Halo 2, engage.
Crown Beach at vector 360, 8 miles.
Rapier 8, engage.
Clear to engage. Mobius 1, engage.
In-game, the Ace Tuttle is found during Operation Bunker Shot, flying around the northern extreme of the map over the mountains just up from the central beach.
Radar lock. Bandits in gun range. Mobius 1, Fox 2. Missed. Radar lock, Fox 2.
F6 is down.
Our next ace is Marcos, with an extra A thrown in there for readability. This ace was named after Czech astronomer Antonin Marcos, who was the most prolific of Shattered Skies' astronomer namesakes, discovering 13 comets and 247 asteroids between 1977 and 1991. He was also the second Czech citizen to set foot on Antarctica, and the first one to reach the southern pole, as a part of the Third Soviet Antarctic Expedition from 1957 to 1959.
Commence operation. Split into 2 groups and destroy targets. Inflict as much damage as possible to the complex and reduce their output.
Don't lose sight of your wingman. Let's wrap this up before dawn.
to engage. Bandit confirmed at Vector 040.
Engage. Omega 1, engage.
Mobius 1, engage.
In-game, Marcos actually appears out of order compared to the rest of the roster, being a mid to late game unlock with the MiG-29 Fulcrum, but appearing quite early in the game in Mission 5, Lifeline. Marcos appears over the southwest extreme of the map, far beyond the mainland refinery, near the farthest extreme pumping station, and of course will despawn after the mission update once Yellow Squadron spawns in.
Missed.
The next ace is one of the more baffling ones on this roster, the Ace Kui, named for the astronomer Kiem King Kui, who there's basically no biographical information about aside from a list of confirmed planetoid discoveries. As Catterhall said in his write-up for this ace, it's highly appropriate that they're the namesake of the F-117, because they are basically invisible.
Attention all aircraft, this is Sky Eye. This is primarily a ground battle, so our duty is to provide close air support. Destroy as many enemies as possible to assist our troops' forward movement.
Be calm and give it your best shot when the enemy arrives.
They have no room to retreat. This is their last stand.
My plane's hanging in there. I think I'll make it back.
Just like Marcos, Kui is another ace that kind of jumps out of order vis-a-vis their place on the roster, appearing all the way near the end of the game in Whiskey Corridor, compared to the fact that the Nighthawk is a relatively lower middle-end plane on Ace Combat 04 Spectrum. If you're hunting them down in this mission, Kui can be found in the middle of the far western extreme of the map for Whiskey Corridor.
Radar lock. Radar lock. Missed. Mobius 1, Fox 2. Nothing but air, heads up.
Our next ace is Olmsted, named for American astronomer and computer scientist C. Michelle Olmsted. Once again, there's very little information available on her, but apparently she discovered 4 asteroids in September of 1990, and co-discovered the comet 127P Holt-Olmsted as well. The asteroid 3287 Olmsted is named in her honor. Along with Levy, Arrata, and possibly Qui and Wang, she is one of the few ace namesakes that are still alive as of the time of this recording.
Mobius 1, Sky Eye here. The Resistance just ended the blackout. Commence operations. Sweep out all enemy forces in Old Town, New City, and the airport.
Keep an eye on those bandits. Don't let the enemy spook you.
Government complex, at Victor 300. On the nose.
Damn it, I ain't going home with a body bag.
Various explosions and reports from the fighters can be heard. French, don't come on at once.
Viper 3, engage. Omega 11, engage.
In-game, the ace Olmsted appears in the mission Emancipation, near the exact center of the map close to San Profeta International Airport in San Sebastian.
Mobius 1, engage.
Engage. Rapier 12, engage.
Halo 9, engage.
We apologize for the momentary disruption of this live broadcast.
Old Town, at Victor 100. 8 miles. Mobius 1, Fox 2. Missed.
I'm supporting. Fox 2.
Locked on.
Bandit down!
Our next named ace is Faye, named for French astronomer Hervé Auguste Etienne Albans Faye, who is best known for the discovery of the comet 4P Faye, which netted him both a Lalin Prize and membership in the French Academy of Sciences. And yes, it's entirely appropriate that they put the French guy on the French plane. This specific paint scheme, just as a matter of trivia, was also the same one sported by the prototype Rafale when it was under development by Dassault.
Sky Eye here. We're inside Stonehenge's engagement zone. Be careful, they may shoot.
Damn it, I ain't going home with a body bag. Don't be hasty. Check 6 while fighting.
Clear to engage. Bandit confirmed at Victor 320.
In-game, Faye can be found in Tango Line, in the northwest portion of the map between the supply base and the submarine dock. And yes, the irony is not escaping me that my very own Faye, Fairy Fortune, was originally supposed to be the guest commentator for Tango Line, but was swapped out at the last second for a brand new commentator. Funny how these things work out, huh?
Mobius 1, Fox 2. Locked on. Fox 2. Missed. Shack on the target. Radar lock. Mobius 1, Fox 2.
Our next ace is Gunn with 2 N's, named for James Edward Gunn, an American professor of astronomy at Princeton University, though, unlike most of the other namesakes on this list, Gunn's research does not involve asteroids or comets, but rather studying galaxies, specifically how galaxies form, and the spaces between galaxies. He's won multiple awards over the course of his career and was also instrumental in the development of the Sloan Digital Deep Sky Survey. He's one of the few ace namesakes still alive at the time of this recording, and he is also not related at all to American science fiction author James E. Gunn or Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn with no E.
This is Leopard flying north of Lone Ravine. Are the jammers disabled yet, Sky Eye?
ISAF will handle the jammers. Maintain your course and we'll get you home safe.
Roger, we're in your hands.
Safe return, the Ace Gun spawns just after the mission update, spawning right in front of the Erusian Interceptor Squadron that comes in hot on the tail of the spy plane Leopard.
Bandit closing at 6. Missile, break! Hard enemy radar spike. Radar lock. Missed. Break, missile. Hard enemy radar spike. Mobius 1 hit.
next ace is Arrata, named for Arrata Takeshi, a Japanese astronomer who has discovered over 641 asteroids between 1978 and 2000. I originally, erroneously, earlier in this video said that he was still alive as of the time of this recording, but as it actually turns out, he died back in 2012 at 65, so at the very least he was alive at the time of Ace Combat 04's debut back in 2001. His discovery of the minor planet 2090 Mizuho, which he named after his daughter, led to an uptick in discoveries of minor planets within the next 10 years, leading to ultimately 160 minor planets discovered by Japanese astronomers. And of course, it's entirely appropriate that the one Japanese guy on this list gets appended to the Japanese proprietary version of the F-16, the F-2 Viper Zero.
Here's our chance for a little payback. So that's Stonehenge.
In-game, the Ace Arrata appears at Stonehenge, once again at the northernmost extreme of the map, way beyond Stonehenge itself. While tracking down and ultimately shooting down Arrata is a relatively simple task, heading this far out of the map will put you back into Stonehenge's effective range, making it very easy for you to get shot down by a random shot from the cannons if you decide to actually go after him, so just be careful on that one. Our next ace is Nozman, named after Russian astronomer Grigory Nikolaevich Nozman. He's credited with the discovery of 74 asteroids, and both a lunar crater and the asteroid 1129 Nizhnina are named after him. Additionally, the paint scheme for this ace is one of the most recurring ones to appear in the Ace Combat franchise for the Su-27s and its related planes, and it is the paint scheme of the Gromov Flight Institute's Su-27 complement.
Erixium, this is Sky Eye. Please describe your situation.
Erixium Flight 702 here. Erusian fighters are closing in on us at 23,000 feet. Please hurry.
Flight 701 here. We were shot on takeoff and our captain's injured. This is First Officer Nagase.
10-4, an escort is inbound. Both aircraft maintain your course.
Take the captain to the back.
In-game, Nozman appears in the mission Escort near the southeastern corner of the map, and is probably one of the harder aces to take down just because you were on such a tight margin for the Escort mission here between Flight 701 and 702, so it's recommended that you usually wait until the fourth wave of enemies shows up before you go after him, and even then, as you can see in this video, I kind of bugger that up completely, so good luck!
Wow, that ISAP plane is fighting solo.
Fox 2. Missed.
I'll finish off that fighter first. Fox 2.
Hard enemy radar spike. Radar lock. Nice kill.
Flight 702 here. The Erusians are attacking. We've lost control. We've lost...
Mobius 1, Flight 702's been hit.
But from tragedy to triumph as we get to the centerpiece of Ace Combat 04's roster, the default skin for the F-22 Raptor, aka the Mobius 1 skin. Just like the Yellow 13 skin, Mobius 1's Raptor has appeared numerous times throughout the series either as an unlockable enemy Ace skin or as DLC in the cases of Ace Combat 6, Infinity, and Assault Horizon. Our next ace is Able, named for American astronomer and UCLA Professor George Ogden Able, and best known for the Able Catalog of Galaxies. In addition to his many accomplishments, he also helped produce 2 educational TV series, Understanding Space and Time and Project Universe. He also served as the president of the International Astronomers Union's Cosmology Commission, and was memorialized by way of the Able Scholarship Fund.
Mobius 1, a wire from the Northern Landing Forces. We're depending on your efforts. Commence operation. Don't let any escape. Target is closing in on the landing site. Clear to engage. Mobius 1, engage.
The ace Able appears in the first part of the mission of Breaking Arrows, in the northernmost portion of the northeastern section of the map. Though because of the mission parameters, Sky will actually chastise you if you go after Able instead of focusing on the missiles. As with all other aces that appear in missions with mission updates, Able will despawn as the second part of the mission begins. Of course, this one needs no introduction, the Yellow 13 Su-37 Terminator skin. This is the second of 3 skins that occupy the named ace slot on the roster, despite not being a proper named ace, since Yellow 13 is a plot-based character and appears numerous times over the course of the game. As with Mobius 1, Yellow 13 has also become one of the icons of the Ace Combat franchise, and this skin has appeared numerous times in various Ace Combat games, both as an unlockable enemy ace skin and as DLC in later installments. To unlock the Yellow 13 skin in Ace Combat 04, you need to have shot down every other named ace in the game outside of course, Bela and the EASA Wyvern.
Mobius 1, 5 aircraft are closing in at high speed. It's the Yellow Squadron. Looks like they've come to make a last stand for Arrata. Let's settle this once and for all. Leave the choppers to the others. You can end this war. Approaching contact point. Stay alert.
Engage as a formation. No single ship attacks.
Missile. Locked on. Box 2. Evade. Evade. Missile. Hard left. Hard enemy radar spike. Missile. Break. Missile. Break. Break. Missed. Locked on. Box 2. Box 2. Missile. Break. Break. Missile. Missile. Break. Break. Hard enemy radar strike. Oh, good going. Cheek right.
Our second to last ace is Halley, named after pretty much the most famous one of our astronomers on this list so far, Edmund Halley, aka the guy who discovered Halley's Comet. In addition to a slew of other scientific accomplishments, he took place in one of the first expeditions to scientifically date Stonehenge in 1720. He is most renowned today, however, for his publication of the Synopsis Astronomiae Comiticae in 1705, where he detailed his belief that the comet sighted in 1456, 1531, 1607, and 1682 were in fact all the same comet, and gave his prediction that the comet would be sighted again in 1758, and while he didn't survive to actually see the comet returned, once it did exactly as Halley predicted, the comet was named Halley's Comet in his honor, and given the official designation of 1P Halley.
I see them. Engage from 6 o'clock.
In the penultimate mission, Siege of Farbanti, the ace Halley appears over the northernmost extreme of the Farbanti coast out near the water. As with all aces that appear in two-part missions, once the mission update triggers, Halley will despawn as soon as Yellow Squadron spawns in for the boss fight. final regular named ace is Smirnova, named for Tamara Mikhailova Smirnova. She was a member of the Institute of Theoretical Astronomy in Leningrad from 1966 to 1988, and was born on Christmas Day of 1935. She discovered 135 asteroids between August of 1966 and June of 1984, with her 100th discovery being named asteroid 5540 Smirnova in her honor. She died on September 5th, 2001, just 8 days before the release of Ace Combat 04 itself.
Mobius 3 through 7 on standby. Mobius 8 on standby. Preparations are complete, ready for battle. All aircraft follow Mobius 1.
As is appropriate, the final named ace, Smirnova, appears in the final mission of the game, Megalith, and as usual, she appears in the northernmost extreme of the map, well beyond Megalith itself. And of course, with every other ace that appears in a multi-part mission, once you trigger the final mission update to fly into Megalith itself and destroy the ICBM to end the game, Smirnova will despawn. Last but not least, the final paint scheme of the game, and the last one that has a named ace with an asterisk definition on it. The EASA, or Erusian Air and Space Administration, X-02 Wyvern prototype. The EASA Wyvern is unlocked by first unlocking the Wyvern itself, and then S-ranking all missions on Expert difficulty. And while you're going to be getting a cockpit view for the Wyvern, unfortunately, because the X-02 does not even appear in-game as an enemy in Ace Combat 04, we're not going to see any mirror mode matches like we have for the previous named aces of me taking one out. Although, that said, the Wyverns do appear finally in-game as the final boss of the Operation Katina arcade mode in Ace Combat 5, which we've already gone over as a part of this LP.
Was only a secondary target because it was along their flight path.
Mobius 1, engage.
Engage. I agree, engage. Someone handle those bombers. I'll take care of the escorts. Here they come.
Mobius 1 shot down a bear.
A bomber's been hit.
There's our welcoming party.
Let your escorts handle them.
Target is bombing the city.
Protect the bombers.
There they are. We've got bandits on radar. LHA's been hit. Hurry, get chance.
4 targets remaining.
8 miles to the target.
And that's it for Paints, Cockpits, and Aces. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. And coming up next, something a little bit more action-packed, we'll be looking at special weapons. See you there!